Well, today we have another very cool guest, my man EROCK. He takes a lot of cool videos out back of the stadium by the parking garage, and it really brings a lot of excitement to watching the Eagles as a fan. I know I would probably run into a guy just like him in the parking lot and hit it off. So Eric, tell the people about yourself and all the stuff that you do.
Well, I'm a lifelong Eagles fan since birth, a season ticket holder, and proudly representing Section 225. Been going to the game since I was a little kid. You know, there's rumors of me kind of like being born in a manger somewhere in the tailgate parking lot F1. Just an Eagles fan all my life, and about, oh my God, what is it, 2007? So what is it, 15 years ago, I decided to pick up a camera and start posting YouTube videos just talking about the Eagles when I was living in Philadelphia at different spots around the city, and that kind of took off, and I've been doing it ever since on Twitter and Instagram and now TikTok and YouTube, and just try to share my Philadelphia Eagles experience with the world. So that's and we're keeping it rolling 15 years later.
That's dope, man. That's dope. My favorite one is the one when you did after the Eagles kind of in the mid-season went out to Denver. It was a game where I think that was after the Oakland Raiders, after we were kind of feeling real demoralized, and we beat down the Broncos in Denver in Mile High, and you kind of you did a video that was like, oh, here's a pep talk for your kid.
Yeah. Listen, it's hard during a difficult season. It's incredibly hard to keep it fresh and keep it entertaining and not bitch and moan for the sake of bitch and moaning, but actually trying to provide some content and some creativity behind it. So yeah, that was something different, and I enjoyed doing that one.
Yeah, man. So thinking back on that time, if that was a kid that time just became 3-5 and trying to make their way. Looking back on the season now, talking to that kid, no, they didn't end up the champion. But how do you feel about that kid?
If I was to talk to that young man now, I would tell him you did good, but you beat up on some teams, and you beat up on some other little kids that you knew you could beat, right? You knew you could beat. Well, now listen, little guy, it's time for you to put on your big boy pants. Time for you to figure some shit out, okay? You know what I mean? Next year, listen, it's like the transition from middle school to high school. Next year, I'm expecting a big jump here.
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking little baby steps anymore. We're gonna take the training wheels off. Yeah, you put your helmet on, tussle your hair, and send you off. But you got to be doing some big things next year, because that's what I'm expecting now. You know what the playoffs feel like. You know what the playoffs are. Taste like. Time to start really taking this stuff seriously.
I'm with you. I mean, I think I'm somebody who's been supportive of Jalen Hurts, pretty excited about moving forward with him. But next year, he's going to be held to account. There's people who are fans of his will have to. He has to take this team to the divisional round. He has to be a quarterback where you don't really have those questions. It's more of he's an asset. Not can you win with him, but can he take you over the top? And so, when you're playing some of these tougher teams, so how do you feel about Jalen moving forward, Jalen?
Well, you just said something on the tail end of that question is can you win with him? And the answer I'm not concerned about divisional round. I'm not even really concerned about playoffs so much as if I am can you win with him as opposed to winning despite him. So there was times and arguments can be made this season that the reason why the Eagles switched to a run-heavy offense, and the reason the Eagles started breaking all these records in the run game, and the reason why they started pounding the rock is simply because they knew Jalen Hurts couldn't get the ball down the field. There's two things about Jalen Hurts' game that worry me. Number one is his ability to read the field, because we saw Todd Bowles. What is that, NFL Today, or what's that weekly show?
NFL Films, or
the HBO one, where they do it weekly and they go game by game, and everybody's at least one person on the team's mic'd up, and it was
yes, I know what you're talking about.
What's that?
No, I watch those on YouTube. I don't watch them on HBO. So you kind of that's why I was like,
oh, okay, yeah. No, it's out there. I mean, and a lot of people have seen it where Todd Bowles is saying he can't read the defense. So his ability, and listen, we've seen it throughout the season where there's clips of guys that are open and he's escaping a clean pocket for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other concern is just flat out, I don't know how else he has a below average NFL arm. He doesn't have a cannon. Now, the reading the defense thing, I think can be improved, and I think he has improved on it, and he's continuing to point in the right direction. He's coaching, just experience, feeling comfortable out there. That has a lot to do with his, wanting to escape all the time, despite a clean play, maybe not
Yeah.
seeing an open receiver. The arm strength thing, I just think is a God-given ability.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that, I struggle to think of any NFL quarterback with a Chad Pennington arm that has gone to some magical quarterback school like fucking Hogwarts and all of a sudden comes out with this magical cannon of an arm. It just doesn't happen, right? So I think one area can be drastically improved on, and that depends on Jalen. I think the other one is what it is.
Oh, you cut out, E. Yo, you cut out. My bad.
Yeah, my bad. It's this New Jersey Wi-Fi.
So you were saying there was a yeah.
I'm not out on Jalen Hurts. I'm not all the way in on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I feel like he's definitely played his way into starting next year.
Yeah.
But
there's real. I mean, it's year 3, I think it puts the Eagles in a decent situation. I think they're going to push their chips to the table next year. Try to get them a receiver, a reliable wide receiver. Some maybe gets him somebody else other than Boston Scott or Jordan Howard, a real running back to complement Miles Sanders, and see what he can do. But if he doesn't deliver after next season, if we're sitting here at the same place, if we're out of the playoffs or divisional round comes and the Eagles aren't there, then you have you've at least given him the chance to. What I will say is for Jalen, in Jalen's favor, he has improved. Like from the first time you watched him against the Saints, he's a way better player now. And that wasn't that long ago. So I'm hoping he makes that same kind of jump to next season.
Yeah, it's really got to be a gigantic jump. And I completely agree with you. I think you surround him with some better weapons, surround him with some better talent. And then you're kind of out of excuses, right?
Yep.
Because I think Sirianni's a good coach. The offensive line is one of the best in the NFL.
Yep.
You get him some additional receivers and stuff like that, and this offense still has to lean so heavily on the run, or Jalen doesn't appear to be making the correct reads or leaving guys not throwing the ball when he's open or escaping the pocket. Like that needs to be a significant jump in Jalen's favor, because after that, listen, I'll give him next year, but if I don't see that giant step forward in the right direction, I'm looking to move on.
We're going to tell the young man that you were talking to after the Broncos game, you had some fun in JV. Maybe varsity isn't going to happen for you.
Yeah, and you let him down gently. I like that. I'm going to steal that line. I might have to talk to that kid again, dude. I'm going to steal that line. Maybe varsity ain't for you, homie. It's all right. Listen, maybe you're more of an artist. Maybe you can go into the school play, and you know what I mean. Maybe just football ain't your thing, kid. I love it.
Oh man! So we do have 3 first-round picks to surround Jalen with. If any of them are home runs, grand slam, like all-time kind of great, like Kelsey. We got Kelsey later in the draft, but a player like a Kelsey, at which position on any of the positions that we need to fill, who do you hope that home run would be, or at what position would that be?
Well, you can attribute a lot of the Eagles' success, albeit limited, but a lot of the Eagles' success on the offensive line, right? The power of the strength of the offensive line, whether it be in the run game or helping Jalen Hurts. And there's a philosophy as old as time, but it's as old as time because it's true, and that's because that you win in the trenches, right? I think we're good on the offensive line, or can use some later picks to kind of help supplement, backfill the depth on that position. But man, if there's going to be one stud, give me a defensive end. Give me just a terror on the edge. Because if things are going to happen, it's got to be in the trenches. It's got to be in the
It's been
trenches.
a while. I'd honestly say, with all respect to Fletcher, and he doesn't usually come off the end, and all respect to Brandon Graham, who I love, we haven't had that kind of guy since Trent Cole, I would say.
100%.
Like that guy that just, like a Javon Curse guy that could just wreck the game for the other team.
Trent Cole, who people forget, and I'm on my phone, so otherwise I'd be fact checking myself right now. But I believe he's third all time in franchise sacks.
Who is?
Trent Cole.
I wouldn't be shocked. He was very successful.
I think it's like Reggie, Clyde, and then Trent.
That guy was a player that they defenses had to deal with. And even with Brandon Graham, he's just a very, very good defensive end. He plays the run well. He can get after the quarterback. But there's Ruben Frank put it up on Twitter this week. He compared Josh Sweat and Derek Barnett to a guy who hits a lot of warning track fly ball out. Like you're getting almost there all the time.
No, that's a great analogy. And while getting there almost helps because the quarterback's feeling rushed and he's feeling pressured. Simply put, I mean, if you want to lead in third down, getting off the field on third downs, which is a passing down, if you want to lead the NFL in turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, if you want to give Jalen Hurts, as much as we would go, let's get a receiver, you know what I mean? Let's get a running back. If you want to give Jalen Hurts an adequate shot, get the defense the hell off the field.
Yes.
Get the ball and get the ball in his hands more. Simply put, I mean, a defensive end, I think, is priority number one.
Yes. Would you take two cracks at it? Maybe take, in two of our top 3 picks be pass rushers? Would you go that heavy?
You just took the words out of my mouth. I was like top priority, and I was about to follow it up with shit. I'd take 2. I would take 2 of them. Why not? You know what I mean? Look at the Rams right now, and it's not even fair to compare the Rams and the Eagles, but you got you got Von Miller on one side, you know what I mean, and then you got Donald in the middle. It's just tough to defend them because it's constant pressure. And you take a look at that last game. I mean, Tom Brady's jersey looked like an OxyClean commercial.
Oh my gosh,
that shit was bright white. Oh my God, it didn't even need to go to the laundromat. I mean, that jersey was the brightest white you've ever seen in your life. Because we couldn't, and all he was doing was picking us apart. Now, part of that's Gannon, but also too, we can't rely on our front 4 to get home. You can't win in the NFL if you can't rely on your front 4 to get home.
And we can't. And I love Fletcher, but we can't pay Fletcher what his current price tag is for the production that we're getting. If we can get something for Fletcher, I would love to see him be able to retire on the team, but.
Yeah.
He's just a lot of times just a non-factor, unfortunately.
And a lot of times because he ends up being a non-factor because if you're the offensive line, where are you sliding protection to? Like, what are you worried about? You're not worried about Derek Barnett. You know, honestly, let him kind of do his thing because he's going to get flagged for a penalty anyway for doing something stupid.
He'll move you up 5 yards every.
You let Derek Barnett through the line. It's almost a positive yards play at that point. So really, I don't want to go that he's getting double teamed excuse because there have been plenty of examples where he hasn't gotten home where he's not getting double teamed.
Yeah,
but there's plenty of examples where Fletcher Cox is your most dominant person on the offensive line. Protection is going to slide there all the time.
Yep. Hargrave early in the season was really good. And then he kind of, I don't know if it was the rough and tumble of the whole season or if defenses, schemed him up, but Hargrave stopped making as big of an impact as well. So
I just need the defensive line to start matching the offensive line's energy.
Ooh.
Where's my Jordan Mailata?
Team.
Where's my Jordan Mailata? Where's my beast? You know what I mean? It's surprise 7th round gem. Where's my Lane Johnson, my prize 1st round pick, one of the best right tackles in football? Where's my old wily veteran set in Jason Kelsey? You know what I mean? Where's he on our deep? Where's my Jason Kelsey on the defensive line?
If we get some of those guys, that's a Super Bowl. Even presently constructed, if our defensive line was as good as our offensive line, we would have been in that game against the Bucks.
Yeah, it's a contender. Yeah.
So who other than Rager next season? We brought up somebody who I would think would be a lot of fan favorite to not be on the Eagles next year, other than Rager, because I think for me that's an easy question. Who do you not want to see on the team next year?
Derek Barnett, first and foremost. I was grossly disappointed in and it's one of those. Listen, I'm not a draft guy. I will never claim to be a draft guy.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of college football. I watch like the bowl games, but that's about it. I was told, when the draft was in Philadelphia and like Derek Barnett's name came out and, there was mixed reactions amongst the crowd. I was there. There was a smattering of boos because we didn't like it. I was told that, don't worry, this guy's going to bend the edge. This guy's going to, Reggie White's.
I know. That's what I was going to say. That's who he was being compared to. I mean, talk about lofty expectations.
I think that's what turned me off to the guy immediately. It's like, don't use Reggie's name. Don't don't use Reggie's name. Let that man rest in peace. He was the greatest of all time at the defense.
Yes.
Don't use him. I think that's what turned me off to him in the beginning. I get turned off of players for real dumb reasons, and that was one of them. You know what I mean? And I just and whatever. His production is never warranted where he was picked.
My person, I think that he's not a bad player, but I don't love if Anthony Harris is one of your starting safeties. That's not a championship level defense. Mm-hmm. I think he's a bit slow. And I don't know how it continued to happen. I don't know what Gannon was thinking, because on that the touchdown that put the Eagles away, it was the Mike Evans with the deep crosser. Mm. They didn't even there was no corner on Mike Evans. They thought that Anthony Harris playing deep off coverage would be able to stop him. He's just way too slow to play safety in the NFL. I love this dude, Kyle Hamilton, coming out of Notre Dame. Safety number 14. Dude is huge. He's like 6'4", 220. We got it. Taking two. You've convinced me now. I want to take two pass rushers. I don't care where they are along the line, and I need a safety because this again, since Dawkins,
I would say Malcolm's up there.
Malcolm's good. Malcolm was good.
Malcolm's up there. But how do you like this idea? Because this isn't my idea. This was
okay
to me. But you take the two edge rushers was I like that, two edge rushers. And then you sandbag the third first round pick for next year.
I've heard that. Yeah. I don't know. I think
and hedge your bet, bro. Hedge your bet in case Jalen Hurts don't work out, in case little kids got to, maybe try out for the football team. And varsity ain't for
I like it.
You save that shit for next year. You get yourself a first round pick in 2022, and then you address that shit later.
You're right. I like that because you can't say you're sure yet. I don't care how much you like Jalen. I like Jalen. You can't say you know that he's the guy. So.
The Jalen Hurts experience has been weird this year. Can I vent a little on your show?
Go. You got it.
The Jalen Hurts experience has been very, amongst the fan base, has been very strange. It's been a very strange thing. Because there's almost like no objective take on it. It's like everyone dug their heels in one way or the other. Like the haters, the Jalen Hurts haters, detractors, whatever you want to call them, are just so like when he has a good game, they just don't want to give him any credit. They just want to lob grenades at this kid and like, yo, your team won. Like, be happy. Like, it's okay that he's looking good. You should be encouraged at the fact that he's like showing improvement. And then it's just like on the other side of things, because I've dealt with this too, is like you're critical of Jalen Hurts for one thing. That throw was late, or that. What the fuck was that decision there?
Yeah.
How dare you criticize Jalen
Yep.
Hurts, he's only in his second year. I mean, the guy's making his, whatever number
Right.
of start and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yo, can't you just like critique him when he does something stupid? You got to let, like when my kid, like when they do something stupid, I'm going to let them know. But when they do something right, I'm going to pat them on the back.
Yes. Yes.
It's just so weird this year.
But I think it reminds me a lot. It reminds me a lot of McNabb. There was a lot of that, even despite all the success for all those years. There were people who just were out on McNabb. He can't win the big game. We would be on like a 6-7 game winning streak. Well, we'll get there, and he'll choke it up. And on the other side, like you said, there would be people who, if he legitimately had a bad game, like in the Giants game, the offensive where they broke the sack record against us. Yeah, the offensive line played badly, but there are times where McNabb was playing badly, and you can't. Nobody's giving you everybody's kind of got an agenda. And
yeah.
The agenda should be like the Birds win.
Yeah. It's a very strange, and also too to compound this, it's like you bring up McNabb, but McNabb, I mean, how long did he play for the Birds? I mean, we started hearing the rumble of he's never going to win the big one, like after we lost the Super Bowl. That's when you started to hear it. But everybody was, I don't want to say everybody was on board, but everybody was like willing to give McNabb a shot. Everyone was willing to give Wentz a shot because everybody wanted to see Wentz succeed. They got all this draft capital invested in him. It's just the weird part of me about the Jalen Hurts thing is everyone's got such strong takes, yet such a limited sample size.
Yep.
And diverse sample size, because sometimes it'll be over here, sometimes it'll be over here. Sometimes you'll look and you're like, fuck, there it is. There's Jalen Hurts. Finally, like this is the guy we wanted to see.
Yeah.
When they have a game like against the Giants where you're like, or the Bucks, like, what are you doing? What is this? What am I even looking at?
The Giants game, I don't know if I've seen a worse performance, just like team wide. That was probably
it was bad.
It was I mind the Giants loss a lot more than I mind the Bucks loss.
Because you were saying like you were supposed to lose to the Bucks.
Yes.
Now, granted, I thought they'd be a little bit more competitive than they were, but you were supposed to boat race the Giants, and you ended up looking stupid.
And then they ran a commercial before the game, like about how the Eagles could, they're contenders, and then we just come out and lay an egg. So you brought up Jonathan Gannon, and that's a
mystery.
Pandora's box.
That's a mystery. How is this guy getting job interviews, bro? I wish I could suck as bad at my job and still like get like people want to move me up the ladder. I don't get it. What has he done?
And he just looks smug. His performance was not any good at all this year. I mean, they were a middling defense.
I can understand remember like the 2017 Eagles, like there was a lot of guys playing above their I don't want to say pay grade. What like they were playing They were playing overachievers. They were excelling above their level.
Yes.
Right? You think of Patrick Robinson and
yes.
And some of the line Bradham, where they were playing like above their ability because the defensive coordinator put them in a position to make plays. Jonathan, there's like when you look at our defense, like what's the one thing that you're like, yeah, there's nothing.
Slay.
It's vanilla as shit.
Slay. That's it.
Slay. Okay, Slay. But Slay, cornerback is almost like a one-on-one. It's like a from baseball.
Yes.
Like you don't judge cornerbacks on
the scheme.
It's a one-on-one matchup, and if you want to throw Slay's direction, that's on you. You know what I mean? Get picked off. But like the defensive scheme, there were no players playing above their level. In fact, there were players playing below their level. When you previously mentioned Fletcher Cox, like you mentioned, Hargrave falls off a cliff. Where Derek Brett, like there's nobody who's exceeding expectations. Where you're like Jonathan Gannon is the coach that I want to coach, not only my defense, the whole team, because he's that impressed. Like, what are people thinking?
It's absurd. It's
absurd. It is.
And I'm like actively rooting for them. Like, can we get draft compensation for Gannon? Like, if people want him so bad, can we just trade him for something?
My favorite hobby now is to go to the official Twitter accounts of the teams that's interviewing and being like, please don't take Jonathan Gannon from us. My God,
What are we
whatever
gonna
are
do?
we going to do as a city and a team and a franchise if you take away? Please, I'm begging you. It would break our hearts if you take away Jonathan
Seriously,
Gannon. Oh
I don't think I'll get
no.
over it.
Oh no. Meanwhile, I got the car warmed up for the
Yes.
airport to ship him the
Yeah.
hell out of here. You know what I mean? Take him to the airport.
No, I had my buddy Thomas on last week, and he lives in Denmark, and we were joking about him, like take him back to Denmark with you if you was.
Yeah. And then lose his vaccination card so he can't come back into the country. So he has trouble coming back. Give him a false positive COVID test. Sorry, you're in Denmark again.
So you brought up, so that's a perfect segue. That's a perfect segue into which quarterbacks that are left in the playoffs do you think have the most pressure on them this week?
I'm thinking. I'm not frozen. I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I want to lean towards Stafford because Stafford, I mean, he just won his first playoff game, and for putting up like really like gaudy career numbers out there in Detroit, you again you look at Matthew Stafford and say, okay, was it a Detroit thing or was it a you thing? Now, granted, he did look impressive in the playoff game, but you want to see him like who is Matthew Stafford? You know, I mean, is he really that guy and was just stuck in a shithole city with a shithole organization and never going to win nothing? Or is he really like one of the elites that we just didn't know about? You know,
It's kind of like I compare his kind of career, how he's in jeopardy of being remembered like Jay Cutler, like a player who's good, but people way overly estimated what he could be. Like people thought Jay
I
Cutler
think he's
was
better. I
the top
think he's better
guy.
than Jay Cutler. You know what might be a decent comp? Dan
Okay.
Fouts. Dan Fouts, a guy who rarely was seen in the playoffs, who put up a lot. I mean, Dan Fouts is a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Threw up a lot of yards and a big passing offense, but never even sniffed the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Let alone appearances in the play. Like Matthew Stafford is our generation Dan Fouts.
Well, yeah, because Stafford is never. Well, last week was his first playoff win.
First
right?
playoff win. You know?
Ooh. Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers is a good one. Phillip Rivers is a good comp. There's two Chargers. Can we name any more Chargers quarterbacks that were good and just never sniffed the Super Bowl?
Ah, that's rough. I think Garoppolo's under a lot of pressure because I think Sam Fran is done with him regardless. And I think he's really auditioning for another place. Like, is another team going to give him a starting job?
And that's why I don't think there's that much pressure on him because it really is like the writing's on the wall.
Oh, okay.
He's not playing for his job right now. He knows times to say you don't invest what you invested in that in a young quarterback like that and then keep Garoppolo. I mean, Garoppolo's there as a place now. It's a pretty damn good placeholder. You know what I mean? Bringing him to the playoffs, winning a playoff games, beating the favorite Dallas Cowboys, and he is auditioning for another job, and he's going to find one.
Yeah,
and he's going to find one.
Minnesota Vikings. They probably ship out Kirk and bring in Garoppolo and be fine with it.
Just go from one game manager to another. just go from one game manager to another. That's it.
I want to be like Kirk Cousins when I grow up. Just be like pretty mediocre, but be the richest guy in the room.
Be like, I got a lot of money. What'd you do to earn it? Not much. You know what I mean?
I was okay.
I showed up. Yeah. Kirk Cousins, yeah. And then some Eagles fans are like, what about Kirk Cousins? Are you kidding me?
No.
Nah. We're good.
I'm very good on Kirk Cousins.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you something.
Yeah, sure.
Jalen Hurts or Derek Carr?
I'm going with Jalen because of primarily who do I think is better today. If I had to go prep for a week and win a game, I would take Derek Carr. In terms of age, contract, Also, just track record of winning, just period. I would take Jalen Hurts because Derek Carr's probably 30 now. He's getting up closer to 30. You have him 8 years maybe. He plays for 8 more years. Has Derek Carr the Derek Carr we're watching now, is Derek Carr at his ceiling? Because we know Jalen, I don't think Jalen's at his ceiling yet. And so I got to go with Jalen because Jalen is a second round pick. He's still on a deal for 2 more years. That's a extremely team friendly deal. So if we could go and get Derek Carr, I don't like that idea. I got to stick with Jalen. What about you?
Oh, I've been batting that one around in my head for a little bit now. Yeah, for the last 3 days, I've been batting that around in my head.
Do you think that the team is BSing us and that they're still going to seek and look around?
100%. No, I don't. And listen, I'm not saying that as like a hard ass or
yeah.
I know for a fact that they were in on Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah. They were all in.
But like we all know it, but I had it verified to me.
Yeah.
Like they were in.
But he doesn't want to. I'm not thrilled with the idea. I mean, obviously if he's innocent of charges.
And, I don't want it. I don't want it either. So don't misinterpret what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that they were in on Deshaun Watson, and somebody used the word lusting. They were lusting after Deshaun Watson, but they wanted to wait until all the charges they wanted to wait till shit was settled before they went all in on it.
I haven't heard anything.
Is the Eagles have had a wandering eye since Jalen Hurts was not necessarily named the starter, but granted the starting opportunity. I know for a fact that Russell Wilson, they look at Russell Wilson like you look at that ex-girlfriend, the one that got away. You know what I mean? That's the way they see Russ, the one that got away. So Russ is out there. I also know that in last year's press conference, Howie Roseman said, yeah, Carson Wentz is like one of the fingers on my hand. I can't imagine living without it, and then traded him.
Yep.
So, the Jalen Hurts supporters will stand up on their chair and applaud and say, you see, they just said Jalen Hurts is the guy. Well, they said Carson Wentz was the guy last year.
Yeah, they did.
You know what I mean? They did. A lot can happen. I think if we're talking percentages, I think the odds-on favorite is that Jalen Hurts is the starter next year.
Yes.
That's where the smart money is. But
I'd say 70% chance.
I would agree with that number 100%. I would agree. But let's keep in mind that Howie's going to Howie. Howie's never gotten fleeced on a trade. Okay, he's like, when's the last time Howie lost the trade?
Never.
I
don't think ever.
Howie always gets incredible value for anything he trades for. And I don't think for all those people being like, well, I'm not trading 3 first-round picks for Russ or Rodgers or whatever. I don't think it's going to cost you 3 first-round picks.
No, because honestly, at the negotiating table, you just can't give the Texans market value for Deshaun. Market value for Deshaun Watson, the football player, is 3 first-round picks and another player. But there's no way that you can do that as a football organization if I don't know that he can play immediately. If I don't know when he'll be able to play 2 years down the line, it's great. You might still trade, but
I don't even bring up Deshaun Watson either because, like, while that certainly is a possibility, like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Like you get 3 or 4 chicks in a room that maybe like, listen, there's money grabbers out there. You never want to not believe the victim, or you never want to. But there. I saw that Jennifer Lopez movie. You know what I mean? I know there's girls out there hustling, dude. When there's 20 something of them, like that's bad.
And it's an MO.
Shit went down. You know what I mean?
It's tough. So hopefully, and for his sake and for the NFL's sake, I haven't heard anything on that. So you know,
Which
there
is
needs to be
weird,
a
right?
resolution. Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
Which is weird. You would kind of think that like one of the top 7, maybe even top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, like
5, I would say 5.
yeah, and nobody's talking about it. Like, what's going on here? Anyway, well, we'll find out.
Yeah,
We'll
we
find
will.
out.
It'll heat back up in the off season when nobody's got anything to talk about. It'll jump up to it'll be every day.
But yo, if you're willing to go, like, all right, let's stay on Deshaun real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Like, if the Texans go, okay, give me one of your first this year, your first next year, give me a 2 and Andre Dillard. Are you pulling the trigger? So it's two ones over 2 years, 2 ones, a 2 and Andre.
Oh.
You can say I don't know because I don't know the answer either.
I think as a team, it all of this relies on the thing that is awkward as hell to talk about. But at the end of the day,
yeah. And again, 20 something women can't be wrong. Like they can't, like that's.
And we
so you have to
hitting
do it
Vic.
knowing that shit happened.
Yeah,
like that shit
exactly.
was for.
And Vic, I mean, people still give the Eagles shit for getting Vic now. So the idea that it wouldn't be a black eye for the organization and for a lot of people who would feel victimized for this.
It's interesting you bring up Vic because the same person who said the word lusting after Deshaun Watson also said that Lurie wouldn't pull the trigger. Howie would have. Lurie wouldn't have, because it wasn't like Vic. Vic, he did his time. He came out. He paid his debt to society.
Yep.
With Watson, you don't know the truth yet.
No.
You know what I mean?
The
you
truth
don't know.
Could be horrible. The truth could be
worse than we even think it is. You can imagine. Oh my God. So.
Yeah. And then your organization's blown up to pieces. Should that be the case? Right. Should you not know? You bring him in, you're like, oh, he's happy. Because this year the Texans didn't suspend him. They just didn't play him. They just basically let him show up to practice with a hoodie on, throw a couple balls on the sideline. There was no disciplinary action. There was no league suspension this year.
And the league is always quick. Again, it's weird because the league is always real quick on the trigger to suspend somebody, and you don't even need to be found guilty in a court of law. You can just be found guilty by Roger Goodell, and boom.
Right. Like Tom Brady. They suspended Tom Brady. So what are you thinking about these games this week? Cincinnati, Tennessee.
I love Cincinnati. I just love there was something about seeing those fans win their first playoff game and what was it, like 30 years or something? I enjoy fellow fan happiness, not for the Cowboys. Fuck them. In fact, watching them miserable and all handing the camera to the entire audience, watching these miserable Cowboys fans made my night. But I enjoy seeing teams like Cincinnati winning playoff games and those fans celebrating because you can just see a genuine happiness in them. Burrow, I think, is the real deal. And, when you see Burrow and Chase, you're kind of like, man, the Eagles should go after Ridley. You know what I mean? Because of that connection with Jalen Hurts. Like, that would be dope. So just to see kind of that school connect. Like, I like the Bengals. Tennessee doesn't have a real hard home field advantage. Henry's coming back, but I don't know what kind of football shape he's in. I like the Bengals.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a head and heart thing going on for me here too. I kind of feel that Henry, there's a chance he's just a force of nature in NFL football right now. And if there's a chance that he comes back and he's fresh, he doesn't have to give you 25 carries of Derrick Henry.
Right.
You really need like 7 of his like Derrick Henry kind of plays, and it can kind of change the nature of the football game.
Yeah.
And
Then all of a
somehow,
sudden the defense has got to respect the run, sucking safeties into a box, you know.
and you got Julio. I mean, I think that they haven't ignited yet. It's crazy because Julio, I thought that their offense was going to be way more dynamic. They've been like a pretty good offense who can move the ball, score enough to win, but they're not really dominating folks. And so I think at a certain point that's going to happen. I think they probably, whoever wins this game is going to win by like 3 or 4 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good game. Another really good game, I think, is San Fran versus Green Bay. Yeah. Who are you thinking there?
Green Bay. I don't have to think twice about that one. I think Green Bay.
Really?
Yeah. San Fran is scrappy. I love Debo. Kittle, but besides Kittle and Debo, I mean, can you really keep pace with Aaron Rodgers? I mean, that's the big question. I don't know Bosa's status. Can you really keep pace with Aaron Rodgers? That's a tough ask for anybody. The only people that can are the Rams.
So you think if it ends up being the Bucs versus the Packers are going to win this time?
Yes.
For the championship? Okay.
Yeah. But okay. I honestly, I'm kind of hoping for a Rams, Packers.
A replay of that game.
Yeah, replay and just get the popcorn ready and just and just watch the fireworks. I mean, that you want to talk about it. That game, take the over. It doesn't matter if the over is 100 points. Take the over. You know.
And it'll be a great. I mean, can you imagine Odell goes back to Green Bay after the huge
and Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers for a better part of a decade beating up on the Lions. All of a sudden, Stafford's now rolling with a new squad and takes on Aaron Rodgers. I love it.
It's so good. That's good. I didn't think about it like that. And then if he wins, man, that'd be crazy. Talking about Buffalo and Kansas City.
Buffalo and Kansas City. Love the fans of Buffalo. Kansas City, I don't think, is the Kansas City team that we feared over the last 2 years. I think this is Buffalo's year to go to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really impressed with what I saw from Buffalo. I thought they were going to be in trouble against the Patriots. I was like, I like the way I like Buffalo's roster for Philly. I like Buffalo's roster, especially if they were a Florida team. But you got to, be able to throw the football like that and spread people out in the cold. And I didn't think that was going to fit. But you put damn near 50 on a Belichick defense in the playoffs. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Buffalo because to kind of recall back to an earlier conversation with Jalen Hurts. Remember when I told you, okay, my concerns about Jalen Hurts are the ability to read a defense and the arm. You take a look at Josh Allen, who stunk his first year.
Yeah.
Get him with the right quarterback coach, and all of a sudden he's gangbusters because now he can read the defense. Granted, Josh Allen always had a cannon for an arm.
Yes, he did. Woo!
Always had a cannon for an arm. But what you're hoping is that Jalen Hurts in that second year can take that leap in as far as understanding an offense and understanding a defense, a la Josh Allen. Because if he can get Josh Allen-esque.
Super Bowl.
Well, listen, then we're not having a conversation about goddamn quarterbacks. I can tell you that much.
Varsity. That's definitely varsity.
That's varsity.
Yeah, this game is going to have the two quarterbacks with the biggest arms in the league. I don't even know who to pick. I think it's probably going to be the best football game of the season. I don't think Kansas City, if they do go out, I don't think they're going out easy. Travis Kelce is a monster. I just love watching the way he plays and his run after. I haven't seen a tight end with run after catch like this since Shannon, really. So very excited about it. All right. Well, Eric, thank you, man. Thank you for coming on. It was a lot of fun, and we'll have you back. Tell the folks where we can where we can show you some love online and follow along.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me on, and thanks for dealing with all my little Wi-Fi hiccups.
That's cool, man.
While I'm sitting here at the house. They can find me on Twitter, EROCK_Eagles, Instagram, the Mighty EROCK, YouTube, the Mighty EROCK. I also got a TikTok that I ignore, but I put all my videos on there. I just don't respond to anybody. That's the Mighty EROCK as well.
All right, well, follow the Mighty EROCK, y'all. The dude is hilarious. Even if you don't like the Eagles, if you actually like football, you have a team that you care about. You can definitely feel where he's coming from. And we'll see you soon, E.
All right, go Birds. Thanks for having me on.
Birds.